Moving on to Ward 2. Ward 2 starts at like HEB, the HEB area, Dallin and Private Public. Yeah, exactly. At like the Dallin, Delaware area here. And it goes all the way down past Phelan, past the Amelia area, all the way down past the Country Club to where like Major Drive meets I-10 down in that area. So like southwest Beaumont. The two people running for council member for Ward 2 is a person that we've already met here, Mike Getz, and Joey Hilliard. Mike Getz, he practiced law for more than 30 years as a solo practitioner for his own firm, and retired, and since his retirement now serves as a city council member for Ward 2. He served as city council member for Ward 2 since 2011. He is not endorsed by the firefighters union, and like has taken this frustratingly antagonistic relationship towards the firefighters, like I showed you before, like talking like, oh, actually it's fine for this ambulance to have taken 30 minutes to get to this person who got hit by a car and died. It's fine for that to have happened because this wouldn't have saved him anyways. And he also like tries to blame in this article, he was going around to like neighborhood association meetings saying that the reason why there was so much overtime, the budget went $2 million over, the city went $2 million over budget, paying overtime to the firefighters. Remember, they're 19 employees short and have not had the opportunity to negotiate hiring incentives because Kenneth Williams has been putting off the negotiation of their contract. Mike Getz is going around to neighborhood association meetings being like, oh, well, the reason why they're actually spending so much overtime is because so many firefighters are calling in sick. And the union called him out on Facebook. They were like, why is Mike Getz going around saying this to people? And so Mike Getz gave this interview to the Enterprise where he elaborates on his position. And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here. I'm pretty sure he denies that he was going around to neighborhood association meetings saying that. But in this article with the Enterprise, he reaffirms the position that the union says that he held. This is a quote from that article. He says, in 2021, sick leave use was 54,139 hours. At the end of 2024, annual sick leave use was 134,851 hours. So either we have a bunch of firefighters mysteriously getting a lot sicker than they used to, or there is something else going on. Again, like his clear implication here to me is that these firefighters, they don't want to work, they don't feel like coming in, and so they're calling in sick frivolously, and so the city's having to pick up the dime and pay all the overtime for all these firefighters calling in sick. When you can account for the increase in overtime spending by the fact that we have more firefighters. The city voted to increase the number of firefighters that we have on staff in 2023 or 2024, I can't remember. But we have more firefighters now. So naturally there would be more overtime, and we are still 19 firefighters short. And so we have more firefighters, and so naturally there would be more sick leave because you have more people, you get more sick leave. But also they've been working so much overtime, you have to imagine working like 12, 15-hour shifts at a time, back to back, now for what has been over a year that they've been understaffed like this. You have to imagine that takes a toll on employees to where they're not able to recuperate and stay as healthy, or they get burnt out and need to take a sick day. Like, it's ridiculous to think that like this number wouldn't have gone up because of all of the different factors that have happened. And it's even like more ridiculous to go around and imply that actually the reason why the firefighters have so much overtime is because they're all calling in sick because they don't want to work. That seems crazy to me. He is a strong supporter of Fire Chief Earl White, who, like I said before, the firefighters issued a vote of no confidence in. Um, uh, they are frustrated with the lack of transparency with Earl White, kind of the dogmatic decision making that's happening, the fact that Earl White has not completely accurately represented the numbers of employees that the fire department is short, and a host of other issues. The Mike Getz, his role should be to be sympathetic towards the working class people of the firefighters union and not towards the city administration's appointed administrator of the fire department. Even though he's on the city council and he is part of the city administration, if you are actually serving your citizens who are better served by a more well-funded fire department, then you should be supportive of the fire department union and not be supportive of Earl White, who has actively, seemingly worked against the fire department union. To Mike Getz's credit, he did vote against hiring Kenneth Williams. However, he did vote for all of Kenneth Williams' budgets, that deficit spend, but he also voted against giving Kenneth Williams his $30,000 raise. So he has been somewhat antagonistic towards Kenneth Williams, which is a big point in his favor. And I do like Kenneth. Mike Getz is kind of one of these posters too, like Corey is. He be posting, and I do appreciate the idea that if you want to if you have an issue with the city and you want to get in touch with Mike Getz, all you got to do is comment on one of his Facebook posts. And you're going to get in touch with him, most likely. Mike Getz puts like his personal phone number on all of his campaign ads. Like, I appreciate that he tries to make himself available to his constituents and tries to make his constituents feel like they have somewhere where they can go to be heard. At the same time, I'm not a fan of how he tries to make himself the center of every issue. And I'm not a fan of the way that he's been antagonistic towards the firefighters. That feels crazy to me. So, but maybe this is your thing. Maybe you feel like the firefighters are going too far and somebody needs to push back against them. And you want somebody to be kind of more of a centrist who supports Kenneth Williams sometimes and is antagonistic at others. So maybe this is your guy. Your other option for Ward 2 is Joey Hilliard. Joey Hilliard served in the Army's Airborne Division in Desert Storm. That feels impressive. That's crazy. He is the founder and chief operating officer of HydroClean Services. He is the group president. Oh no, that's a holdover. Sorry, another slight error. Joey Hilliard is not the group president at Trinity Industries. That was the previous candidate, Mark Stiles. He is the founder and co-founder of HydroClean Services, not the group president of Trinity Industries Incorporated. He is a former YMBL board member, though, so I guess that gives him like creds for community involvement. A bigger credit in his favor is that he is endorsed by the Firefighters Union. And another additional credit, the Sabine Area Central Labor Council is our local chapter of the AFL-CIO. They have only endorsed 2 candidates in this election, and Joey Hilliard is one of those candidates. So not only is he endorsed by the Firefighters Union, he's also endorsed by the Sabine Area Labor Council. Small errors like this will one day be, maybe they already are, reassuring signs that this presentation is not generated, not AI generated, I guess you mean. He's endorsed by both the Firefighter Union and the AFL-CIO. So that's good. That's a positive thing. He is a strong supporter of the Firefighters Union, like Mike Williams and like Corey Crenshaw. He has gone to bat in public for firefighters. One of his big priorities is infrastructure. Another big priority is fiscal responsibility. He proposes negotiating contracts with refineries, which is a positive thing. There's lots of refineries in our area, lots of large industrial businesses in our area that have tax abatements to where they don't have to pay nearly as many taxes. Like it's like an incentive to come and do business with us, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why we do tax abatements. But in exchange for you coming and creating jobs in our area, we will allow you to pay lower or no taxes at all. And so there are several industrial projects like that that have large tax abatements. And Joey Hilliard is like open to like renegotiating those tax abatements. I think that sounds awesome. Do that. But he also wants to implement occupancy taxes on RV parks to boost city revenues. He's like, oh, so many people, they, to work in these refineries and stuff, like they'll send workers temporarily, and we have occupancy taxes on hotels so that whenever they send their workers to stay in hotels, we capture that tax revenue. But so many of them like get RVs and they come and they park their RVs here. So we need to tax RVs too. I guess. Sure. Why not? Joey Hilliard. Those are your two options for council member for Ward 2. Mike Getz and Joey Hilliard.